Ananda approached the Jetavana monastery, his heart heavy with unease. As the afternoon sun painted the skies amber, the scent of blooming sal trees filled the air, a fragrance that seemed to ease the weight on his shoulders. Walking towards the sala tree, he saw the Buddha seated, surrounded by disciples, exuding an aura of profound calmness. Ananda bowed deeply, his forehead touching the ground, seeking solace in the presence of the awakened one. "Master," Rahula began, his voice heavy with unease. "I feel anxious when I'm doing nothing." Buddha's gaze was serene, his silence drawing the attention of all who sat beneath the tree. Rahula continued, his words tumbling out like a rushing stream. "My mind cannot be still. Riches bring no peace, only sleepless nights and endless worry." The Buddha nodded thoughtfully and replied, "Ananda, the root of your fear lies not outside, but within your own mind." The young man knelt, his shoulders tense with frustration. "Rahula," Buddha said gently, his voice steady, "why do you believe stillness is the absence of purpose?" Rahula hesitated, searching for an answer that would not come. There was a farmer in a distant village who owned a magnificent herd of cattle, the Buddha began. Pausing briefly, he loved his cattle deeply, tending to them with care, and their numbers grew with the passing seasons, he said. One day, a sudden storm swept through the village, and his cattle were scattered far and wide, Buddha explained. Despair consumed the farmer, and he spent his days searching for them, never resting, never finding peace, he continued. This tree does not move, Buddha said, yet it provides shade, shelter, and sustenance to countless beings. Rahula listened, though his heart remained unsettled. But Master, Rahula said, a tree is different from a man. I have tasks, responsibilities, and desires. Buddha smiled faintly, the corners of his lips lifting with understanding. True, Rahula. Master, Ananda said hesitantly. Are you saying my wealth binds me as the cattle bound the farmer? Indeed, Ananda, the Buddha replied. Attachments, no matter their form, sow the seeds of fear and suffering in the heart. But how can I let go? Master? Ananda asked, his voice tinged with both curiosity and doubt. Begin by recognizing the impermanence of all things. Ananda, the Buddha said. Rahula, he said, close your eyes and listen. What do you hear? Rahula obeyed, though reluctantly. The Buddha continued, reflect on the nature of impermanence, and understand that clinging to what changes leads to suffering. Master, is there a way to practice this understanding in daily life? Ananda inquired, seeking guidance for his path. Yes, Ananda, the Buddha answered. Practice generosity, share your wealth, and observe how it lightens the burden of attachment. Generosity opens the heart and plants the seeds of compassion, which flourish into freedom from fear, the Buddha explained. Will giving away my wealth truly bring peace? Master? Ananda asked, his skepticism wrestling with a growing sense of hope. Peace is not found in giving wealth alone, Ananda, but in the wisdom that grows from the act of letting go, the Buddha said. Stillness allows awareness. Rahula struggled with the notion, his mind racing to challenge the truth in Buddha's words. Ananda, the Buddha said, fear arises not from losing what you have, but from believing it defines your very being. Let go of this belief, and you will discover a wealth far greater than gold. A wealth of the heart, the Buddha concluded. Peace does not come from avoiding stillness, Rahula, he said. It comes from embracing it. The Buddha nodded, a faint smile gracing his lips, and turned his attention back to the disciples gathered around him. Ananda rose, his heart filled with a newfound resolve to walk the path the Buddha had illuminated for him. As he departed the monastery, the fragrance of the sala trees seemed sweeter, their blossoms radiant under the amber skies. Each step felt lighter, as if he were not merely leaving but beginning a journey towards a deeper, truer fulfillment. Another day, another moment under the Sala tree. The Buddha sat serenely, his presence radiating calm that drew disciples closer. Ananda returned to the Jetavana monastery, his face reflecting both resolve and lingering questions about the impermanence of possessions. Master, Ananda said, bowing deeply, I have practiced giving, yet the fear within me has not entirely subsided. The Buddha regarded Ananda with compassionate eyes, acknowledging the difficulty of disentangling oneself from deeply ingrained attachments. Ananda, the roots of fear run deep, nourished by misunderstanding and the illusion of permanence, the Buddha said, his voice steady. I wish to understand more. Master, Ananda replied earnestly, so that I may truly free my heart from this fear. The Buddha nodded and said, listen closely, Ananda, as I share with you the parable of the golden vessel. Long ago, a humble potter toiled to shape vessels from clay. Finding joy in his craft and simplicity in his life, Buddha began. One day, while digging in his field, the potter unearthed a golden vessel, its brilliance dazzling in the sunlight, he said. At first, the potter marveled at his discovery. Believing it to be a blessing from the gods, Buddha explained gently. His neighbors, upon learning of the golden vessel, began to visit him frequently, their curiosity thinly veiling envy, the Buddha said. The potter, sensing their intentions, grew wary and began hiding the vessel. Fearing it might be stolen, Buddha continued. Each night, he would wake to check if it was still there. His sleep disrupted by his growing paranoia, the Buddha said. Over time, the joy he once felt from his simple life faded, replaced by anxiety and suspicion, Buddha explained. Pausing briefly, Buddha smiled, his eyes gentle. Do not force it, Rahula, he said. Simply observe your breath as it flows naturally. The disciples began to mimic the practice, their collective breaths forming a rhythm under the banyan tree. Inhale and feel the air enter you, Buddha said. Exhale and feel it leave. This is the cycle of life. Rahula's breaths grew steadier, his mind beginning to quiet, though not completely. Master, Rahula said after a pause. Why does stillness feel uncomfortable at first? Buddha's expression remained serene, though his gaze grew more introspective. Rahula, he said, the discomfort arises from unfamiliarity. The mind resists what it does not understand. Rahula considered the words, their weight pressing upon his thoughts like a gentle hand on his shoulder. Begin by practicing mindfulness, Ananda, the Buddha advised. Observe the nature of your thoughts and how they attach to impermanence. Mindfulness will reveal that clinging arises from the illusion that possessions define your identity and provide lasting security, Buddha said. Once you see through this illusion, you can cultivate detachment, which frees the heart and brings genuine peace, Buddha explained. Master, he said, does the tree understand its purpose, even in stillness? Buddha's eyes twinkled faintly, as though amused by the question. The tree does not question its purpose. Rahula, he said, uncertainty is natural. Ananda, the Buddha replied kindly. Take each step with awareness, and clarity will emerge from your practice. Generosity and mindfulness are not merely acts. They are disciplines that transform the mind and purify the heart, Buddha said. Will I ever be free from fear entirely? Master? Ananda asked, his voice revealing both hope and vulnerability. Rahula could see the image clearly. The archer pausing, the tension in the bowstring, the focus in his eyes. The archer's stillness is what allows him to release the arrow with precision, Buddha said. Rahula nodded slowly, his resistance beginning to crumble like dried leaves underfoot. Master, Rahula said, his voice softer now, how can I practice stillness when the world demands so much of me? Buddha gestured to the disciples, who sat in attentive silence. The Buddha smiled gently, his presence a silent assurance that the path, though arduous, led to the highest liberation. As Ananda departed, the sala blossoms swayed lightly in the breeze, their fragrance a reminder of impermanence and renewal. The disciples closed their eyes, their breaths synchronized like the gentle rhythm of waves upon the shore. Rahula hesitated but eventually followed, his eyelids falling shut as his body relaxed against the earth. Ananda bowed deeply before the Buddha, his voice earnest. Master, I have practiced mindfulness and generosity, but fear remains. The Buddha, gazing at Ananda with compassionate eyes, replied, Ananda, fear persists when the mind clings to illusions of control. Master, Ananda asked, how can I release the need for control, which feels so ingrained in my being? The Buddha smiled gently and said, I will share the story of a king who sought control over his destiny. There was once a powerful king who ruled over a vast kingdom, commanding armies and amassing immeasurable wealth. The Buddha began. Despite his dominion, the king was haunted by the unpredictability of life and the certainty of eventual death. Buddha continued. In his pursuit of control, he summoned sages, scholars, and mystics, demanding a solution to his inevitable mortality. The Buddha said. Rahula opened his eyes slowly, his gaze meeting Buddha's. Thank you, Master, he said, his voice filled with quiet gratitude. Years passed, and the king, though secure within his fortress, grew restless and burdened by a sense of emptiness. Buddha continued. One day, a wandering monk arrived at the fortress gates, requesting an audience with the king. The Buddha recounted softly. Stillness reveals them. The sun dipped below the horizon, its golden light fading as twilight embraced the land. Another day, another moment under the shade of the banyan tree. The air was thick with the warmth of summer. Disciples gathered again, their faces etched with new worries and unspoken questions. Rahula sat among them, his brow furrowed. He had tried to practice stillness, but unease lingered within him. Buddha arrived quietly, his presence calming, his steps light and deliberate. Rahula looked up, his eyes revealing a mixture of hope and frustration. Master, Rahula began, his voice steady but troubled. I have tried to embrace stillness as you taught. Ananda listened intently, his heart moved by the story, though uncertainty lingered about how to apply the teaching practically. Master, Ananda asked, how can I begin to build these walls of wisdom and detachment within my own mind? Begin with meditation, Ananda, the Buddha advised. Sit in stillness, observe your thoughts, and discern the roots of your fear. Meditation unveils the transient nature of all things, allowing you to see clearly and detach from illusions of permanence. Buddha said. Through this practice, you will cultivate equanimity, a state where fear cannot grip your heart. The Buddha explained softly. Equanimity arises when you embrace impermanence, understanding that all things come and go like the waves of an ocean. Buddha said. Master, I fear that my mind will wander and resist stillness. How do I overcome this challenge? Ananda asked. Patience and perseverance. Ananda, the Buddha replied. The wandering mind is natural. Gently guide it back without judgment or frustration. Consistency in practice will strengthen your ability to remain present, anchoring you amidst the uncertainties of life. The Buddha explained. Master, will detachment make me indifferent to the joys and sorrows of life? Ananda asked, his voice tinged with concern. Detachment is not indifference, Ananda, the Buddha reassured. It is the ability to experience without clinging or rejecting. With a calm heart, it allows you to engage fully in life while remaining unshaken by its inevitable changes. The Buddha said compassionately. Master, is equanimity the ultimate goal of the path you have shown me? Ananda asked, seeking deeper understanding. Equanimity is a milestone, Ananda, not the destination, the Buddha replied. The ultimate goal is liberation from all suffering. Through wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness, you transcend the cycle of craving and aversion, attaining the highest peace, Buddha explained gently. Rahula's lips parted, but no words came. The disciples leaned in, their curiosity mirroring Rahula's own. I will dedicate myself to the practices you have taught and cultivate the walls of wisdom. The Buddha nodded, his serene expression a silent encouragement. As Ananda prepared to deepen his journey towards inner freedom, as the sun set over the Jetavana monastery, the sala blossoms seemed to glow, their beauty a reflection of impermanence. Ananda walked away, each step resonating with a sense of purpose, as if the teachings had taken root within his soul. Do the clouds hurry, Rahula? Buddha asked, his voice steady. Do they fear they are wasting time? Rahula shook his head slowly, the simplicity of the question stirring something within him. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.